You're listening to the Chronicles of Living podcast, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. Now let's talk. Greetings, my visionary dreamers. How's everybody doing on You Can Do It Wednesdays? I am adionne-your-dream-pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from the world, saving you from yourself, just drowning in some real bull-ish. Just get out your own way. That's what this show is all about. To those who are just tuning in, this is Chronicles of Living podcast show, and I'm your host. And this podcast show is for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know us normal folks, just trying to get ahead, working hard to get ahead of the game every day. So I'm just going to get right to the topic of the day. A lot of things have transpired today, some good. Well, I think they're all good, really. But I'm going to share some with you along with the title of today is Finding the Beauty in Disappointments. Finding the beauty in disappointments. I thought about this topic, I think, maybe a couple of days ago. I think it came across my mind. As I said, sometimes topics will come to me throughout the week, sometimes in the middle of the day, whatever. But nevertheless, I try to jot them down as they come. And then sometimes I might not use a topic for a while. It's just that it came and I wrote it down. And then when I feel like when the mood is right, that's when I use it. So when I come up with these topics, excuse me, guys, it's really by, the way my spirit moves on that particular day at that particular time. And so because I always keep this podcast in prayer, that is speaking valuable words to you guys, and that is really changing your life in a positive way, I just try to flow just that way. And the same with what I say out my mouth. So, yeah, today was it. I had some good news, which I'll be sharing with y'all really soon. It was really good. I'm really excited about this, but I gotta wait until it comes to full fruition. Until I can share with you guys. But I'm praying that everything is a go by Sunday show, which is going to be my 50th episode. I can believe it, but it's just like, this is a big milestone for me. And this topic fits right in, finding the beauty out of the disappointments. One of the things that transpired today, I'm not going to give it too much energy. Y'all know I'm an energy person. Was, I think I talked, if you listen to the podcast show, I think it's Be Careful Who You Connect Your Dreams With. I think it's that one. But anyway, as you know, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've done a lot of things. I've started a lot of projects. Some went to full fruition and some stopped in the midst of it or whatever. Nevertheless, everybody that I've always partnered up with or did a project with, we're still friends today, or family or whatever. Everything is all cool. Oh, here comes this one person, that decides that, they're not okay with the fact that the project had to stop in the middle, hence because of people's, financial situations. Everybody was investing. And, at the time, when we got right there, ready to launch the website, one member was going through divorce, another member was planning on marriage and moving, another member was looking for another job. So it just was like a domino effect where we all had to come to the decision where, okay, I couldn't keep it going because by this time it had got so big, so it was very costly. I couldn't keep it going by myself. So we all decided, it was like 6 of us, I say 7 if I'm including this person, but 6 of us before this person even came aboard, that we all, collectively decided like, okay, well, financially we can't keep it going It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It's just that just is what happened. You know what I mean? So nevertheless, this was some years ago. This same person, I just like a couple years ago when I was living in the house that I sold, was coming. I was watching a family dog for them to go play bingo and spend money on bingo games, drive all the way to Connecticut, all of this stuff, so was like now turn around. I get my podcast going, put my web blog back up, and this person want to blast me like I owe them money. Like when you in the business still, if stuff just don't go right, okay, we all lost. We all lost our money. It's spent. So in other words, that's what I'm saying, entrepreneurs, but I'm going to show you the beauty in this disappointment. The disappointment to me really is not the fact that it is the fact that we had to stop because I really was feeling the website and did a lot of work on it. But the real big disappointment is the fact that, the love that I extended to this person. And even after the fact, even though we all lost money, I still was willing to give her some money back and give her some installments back. And they turned it down twice and still tried to help her out with her own thing and build, website, ebook, all of this stuff for free, which was way more than what she put in, what it cost way more. But they didn't want none of that. So here we speed up down the line. A few years later, they see my podcast, they see the website. Now they like, ching, ching, like, really? You know what I'm saying? But all the rest of the people that was partnering with me, they're listening to the podcast. They're calling me and telling me how they like it. Same people that was in the same situation, in the same project. Listen and give me kudos for the project, for this podcast show. No problems, no talks about the money we lost, none of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, one of my family members called my mom. My mom, she called me while I was working. The only phone at work is my work phone. But she called me in the middle of work, all frantically, like, oh, this person is blasting you on Facebook, on my other Facebook account, which I'm going to put the podcast on. But if you've been listening, you know why I started fresh with strangers. You know my growth and why. But anyway, just to clarify, from family members that don't know what went down, I'm going to give it just a little bit of energy, So, one, this person is like, oh, why I changed my name? Oh, first of all, Dion is my middle name. That's my birth given name, okay? A is for April, which is my first name, okay? Dion is my name that I combined because my son's name is Dion, but it's spelt in a different way just to stop the confusion. You know what I'm saying? So I use my first name when it comes to business, when it comes to, doing my notary, doing my insurance. I don't like mixing the two professionally. That's just not me. You know what I'm saying? So if I got all my licenses and my certifications in my first name, then why would I use my podcast name? To me, that's just not professional. You know what I'm saying? Then, when I was doing music, which they still call me my neighborhood name. When you grow up in a neighborhood, you get your little nicknames. People stamp you with a certain name and it sticks. So they call me Living. They call me Living, which they still do today, which some of my family members call me that too today. But again, Living is my music name. That's that type of energy. That's the music world energy. You know what I mean? So I decided, okay, you got a middle name. Why don't you use it? So I'll use it for the podcast show. And not even just that, I use it now. I use my middle name. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't understand how people can be so in their own head and think that somebody would give them that much energy as to changing their name. And like, they don't even know that this is my middle name. That's the crazy part. But yet, anyway, I'm giving this too much energy. So this is really for my family members. I'm just putting it out there for my family members because of the fact that my phone don't really work. I can't talk to y'all. And since whenever y'all tune in, y'all know why. So just delete the person. But I'm not worried about it because I told my cousins, like, first of all, I know who I am. You know, my mom, everybody was upset about it because they like, that's not, cool and this and any other. But this is my thing. When you know who you are, you don't worry about stuff like that. You don't worry about what people say about you. You don't worry about all of that, because at the end of the day, they looking like the crazy person, because everybody that knows me and that's known me all my life know that I've always been a giver. Always been a giver, never a taker. And that's why I don't say people's name when I'm telling different stories on this podcast, because I feel like, I'm telling you the story for you to see that this is like everyday people, everyday things. This is situations that go on in everyday life. But I tell you the story to paint like the good out of the story. You know what I'm saying? What I learned from the story, so that you too can start learning from different situations. When you have little things that happen with different people, you can find a beauty in it. It's just like one of my podcasts, or a couple of my podcasts, I talked about, my exes and stuff like that. And do you know, like, each one of them text me and said they love the show, even though they know I'm talking about them, but they know the truth is the truth, and they know I still got love for them. I'm just sharing a situation. You know what I'm saying? They know that I don't have a mean bone in my body, and I would never try to, talk about somebody to harm somebody. You know what I mean? Just like with this person, I could blast her name. But that's not who I am. And for real, I feel bad for this person. I feel sorry that they are wasting their energy, and because I'm not giving it back. It's just like, come on, yo, move on. And the thing about it is, like I said in one of my other podcast shows, when the day comes that everything really blows up on a financial tip, hey, I'm going to go back and get everybody that I partnered with, even though we all put the time in or whatever, still just to thank them for believing in a dream and stuff like that. That's just who I am. And hence the beauty of this story is this. Because of that person, I decided, like, that's one of the reasons that helps me to keep doing this alone. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the beauties, and it keep making me make sure that, listen, there's no need to include anybody in this project right this minute, because it's a podcast show. The people that I include, of course, I'll call some of my people in and maybe talk to on the show and all that. But if you've been following me from the beginning, you see the work that I've put in on the show. If you look at the blog, look at the website, you see the work that I put in. This is what I do for every project. I've always started projects and I put a whole lot of work in personally. You know what I'm saying? Before anybody even see anything, So this is my work ethic. And so now the beauty in it for me is like, wow, I don't have to worry about the chaos. I don't have to worry about, even though I never had that problem before, but still, this situation just kind of make me feel like, do I even want to deal with anybody else anymore? I mean, really, that's not true, because I've never had a problem. But still, the beauty in it is that I see just really doing this thing on my own. I really don't have to rely on anybody's timing, things of that nature. And I'm keeping the interviews minimum. So again, I won't have to rely on anybody. So I'll say all that to say that sometimes when you start in a project, you got your vision or whatever like that. And I say this on different occasions, you might want to just keep it to yourself for a while, even though I'm not keeping this to myself, because this is the World Wide Web. So I don't even know who I'm supposed to be hiding from. How can you hide when you're doing something on the World Wide Web? Anyway, when you start in a project, you start in a vision, you really want to keep it close to your heart. You really, there might be, it depends on what you're doing. It might call for somebody else to be involved. And if that is the case, then you really, really have to think about that person, because everybody that I brought into any one of my projects, I thought about that person's character. And that's why I never had a problem with anybody else. This person was just like kind of on the sideline, just kept asking to be involved, and I just let her in. I never had her on my list. So that was a lesson for me. But nevertheless, you definitely want to hold things close to your heart as you are starting, and just try to figure out the things that you could do on your own. Because the beauty in that is this: when you work hard at something and you accomplish it, and even though it might not be exactly like you wanted, but the fact that you started from point A and got to point C by yourself, you figured it out. It's That's some beauty right there. It might be some flaws along the way. You might make some hiccups. You might mess it up or whatever. But at the end of the day, you can look at this thing, this creation, this artwork, this, I don't know, song, whatever it is that you do, you can look at it and say, wow, I really wrote that song. I drew that picture. I wrote that poem. You know what I'm saying? I did that. Wow. The beauty in, like, when you having a child and things don't work out. Yeah, I'm getting into the topic now. I don't need to get any more energy. That was just for my family members. I thank y'all for the love and for, protecting me, but y'all don't have to answer back. Let's just leave that alone. Let them do what they're going to do. And that's that. I'm not worried about it, so nobody else needs to worry about it. Anyway, so the beauty in finding the beauty in a disappointment, like say if you're in a relationship and you in love with this person, and y'all built things together, you built a family together, and for some reason it ends unexpectedly. In some cases it can end unexpectedly, where one party might not even know that, wow, what just happened, I thought we were doing good, and then sometimes it can end, you already kind of had the feeling that it was going to end, but you got these beautiful kids out of the deal. That's the beauty in it. So it's like, it's no need to go back and forth with the drama, with the baby daddy, baby mama drama, if you start focusing on the beauty of it. You know what I mean? So many people get lost in what they lost. You get it? They get lost in what they lost, and they feel like they was cheated. I know a few times I felt like I was cheated, but I always learned to look at the beauty. When I look at all the things that I gave up when I was with my son's father, and the properties, everything, I wound up having to leave my job. I had a good paying job, and all of this stuff I had to leave and just start all over, just to have my peace, just to get away, just to, even though he knew where we was at. But I'm just saying, there was a lot of commotion on the job, and through the stuff that he was doing while I was pregnant. And I just was like, I just left. I was there for 5 years and was making good money, but I wound up having to make the decision to roll out, and I wound up having to make this decision to give up everything that we had built together. But the beauty in it was my son, my stepson. You know what I'm saying? I still got connection with my stepson. He's such a, he's a good dude too. And I was able, the beauty in it was, like I said before, while I was there, I was able to be there for my stepson when nobody else was. You know what I'm saying? So you never know why the disappointments come. But as long as you look at it and you embrace it, and y'all know I'm big on embracing things, because it's when you embrace something that's so bad that you can finally release and find the good in it. You know what I mean? Like, when I think about some of my moves, it was heartbreaking. Like, when I came, I've talked about some of the moves, but when one of the times when I went and I left to go to the Boys and Girls, to move back to Georgia, and I decided that I wanted to go with the Boys and Girls Club, even though they wasn't paying much. They wasn't paying me much, but the beauty in it was I was able to touch so many kids and spark something in them, spark something that a lot of adults didn't. that, kids that were pretty much lying dormant. You know what I'm saying? I was able to spark something in them and get them excited about their own life. I was able to pour the things that I've learned over the years that didn't work out in them because of the experience that I had, because of all the entertainment and experience that I had. I was able to take that and transform it and turn it into something good for them so that they can benefit. That's the beauty, finding the beauty in the disappointment. When still at the Boys and Girls Club and I wanted to have do on the weekends, I asked the exec, I'm like, can I do it on the weekends? Because they had a dance teacher there that was there before me, and she had a dance class on the weekend, and she was charging them and everything. And I just said, listen, can I get one of the rooms for the weekend so we can kind of do this on the weekend? No, they was messing around. I found out later they was messing around, and she was kind of hating on me, so there went my idea. But the beauty in that was he said no to me a couple times. And another thing that he did was when I had the kids with the media club put the little video together over the summer, and I edited the video and put it on a DVD, and we used it for the show, he, behind my back, took that DVD to the board, which I didn't know that his job was in jeopardy, but he took it to the board. And the board loved the DVD of the program, and they wanted another one. So he had to come to me because he didn't tell me. He was trying to be sneaky behind my back. And because the board wanted another one, he had to come to me. You know what I'm saying? The beauty in that was it let me know that the program that, God put on my heart to do for the kids was a beneficial program. You know what I'm saying? It let me know that my vision of having my own community center one day, that this is a program that I can put down. I can write in my book, like, this is a go. This is a go. You know what I'm saying? For the future. Even though it's for the future, it's just the fact that, it was something that was created then and it was appreciated. So it's like in the future, okay, when that time comes, I could tweak it a little bit. And the same exact, this is when I after we didn't get the websites going, I was trying to keep it up myself or whatever, the same website. And I was trying to let the kids be, utilize it to see if they like it. They lied and said that it was the Boys and Girls Club website. Again, the people came down with the budget, the financial people came down and asked to see the doggone website. Who did they have to come to? Me, because it was the website I built that I had the kids playing on. So it's like, even though people will do things to disappoint you, they will try to, cut you, underhand you, whatever, you got to look at it like it's always going to come. The light is always going to shine. The real light is going to shine. What's really good, what's really, the truth is going to shine, So that's why I don't worry about things. I don't worry about when people disappoint me. I don't worry about that. I just keep it moving. And all I can do is wish them love, pray for them, and just keep on focusing on my next step. And that's what you need to do. You get your disappointments in life and you just focus on your next step. Another thing that was the beauty out of that situation, the boys and girls situation, was this. Because he didn't support the club on the weekends and let me do the club on the weekends, didn't want to fund the sewing machines and stuff, I went in my own pocket and started getting the material and all that stuff for the kids. But anyway, what it did was it set a fire under me. And it forced me to go find my own space. And that is when I went to find my own space. And I told you the story about how I found the space, painted it, had the grand opening and everything. And then the tenant that was living in the house in Philadelphia was messing up. So I had to come back. So that was a disappointment. That was a disappointment because I was happy. I was like, this is really what I want to do. I want to have this little academy for the kids. This is helping them. And I was excited. They was excited. Their mothers was excited. And then bam, I had to move. So yes, I was very disappointed because I felt like that was one of the happiest moments in my life. Even my son noticed it. But I had to come back, to get the house ready to sell and stuff. So, but I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to go back, to Philadelphia. But again, the beauty showed up again because the same month that I came back is the same month that my daughter had my granddaughter. And she needed a place, to come and stay. So she was able to come and stay with us. She didn't have to, I wasn't in Georgia. I was right there. And that was the time she needed me the most. So this is what I'm saying about, yes, I was disappointed that I had to leave and I couldn't finish up the project as far as the academy for the kids. And I had paid 2 months to rent the doggone building. But that guy, I know he upped his rent because I hooked that building up. But anyway, yes, it was a disappointment. It was a disappointment for the kids and everything. But they had something. They took a lot away from that because I did a full photo shoot on them. They have photographs to look back at. They have the DVD to look back at. To encourage them that they need to go on now. They can go on and still do fashion and still do media if that's what they want to do. They prove to themselves that they're capable of doing this. You know what I'm saying? That is the beauty in it. And then when I came back and after my daughter, got everything together and she moved on to her apartment, I still had to help the kids bug and I decided to get foster kids. So I was able to help foster kids. And I shared that story too on a earlier podcast. See, that's why y'all got to go listen to all the podcasts. I'm going to give y'all tidbits so y'all could go back and try to find which one I'm talking about to hear the whole story. But I was able to help 2 groups of siblings when I took that journey back. So even though, I had to leave the kids from the Boys and Girls Club, I was able to come back, help my daughter out until she got everything back in order. My grandbabies, you know what I mean? And I was able to help the 2 groups of siblings, the foster kids that I had. Now, y'all tell me if that's not beauty and disappointment. No, I didn't want to be in Philly. I wanted to be back in Georgia. But that was the reason. And this is why I'm telling y'all, like, when people think, dang, you moving again, they don't know the whole story. They don't know why I had to move, why, or I chose to move in some cases, But every move was a good move. Even though it was a disappointment, I might have been comfortable in some situations. But when I look back at each one, it was something good, something beautiful came out of it, And so that's why we gotta start learning how to adjust to change, adjust to what we think is disappointment. When you don't get the job, when you don't get the car, when you don't get the house, I shared with y'all about, one of my loved ones wanting to get this house, and they were so stuck on these houses and they thought it was it a few times. And I think it was like they were disappointed maybe like, I want to say maybe a good 3 times or so. But then they finally found the perfect house. This is why you can't get disappointed. Everything will happen exactly the way it's supposed to. Yes, sometimes we can get in our own way and we can cause our own detour. But one thing I know about God is He will find a way to get you back on track. He will help you out. He will guide you. If you in tune with your spirit will nudge at you to help you get back on track. Now it's up to you to keep bumping your head. That's on you, Sometimes you got to start looking at you and say, okay, am I the cause of this? Or is it just that I'm not listening? Or, what is it that you need to adjust within yourself to keep you from being disappointed or to allow you to see the beauty in the disappointments? You got to start looking at yourself. That's what I had to do. I had to, and I'm still looking at myself every day. I'm always looking at myself and looking at a situation like, okay, what part am I playing in this? Is it something that I can do to make the situation better? That's what I do. As y'all see, if y'all listen to the podcast, my life has not been perfect. And I know nobody else's that's listening has been perfect, because you probably wouldn't be listening if you see everyday people, everyday things, but nobody's life goes on a smooth sail. We're going to have disappointments. We're going to have letdowns. People are going to let us down. You're going to be hurt in some points of your life where your loved one, your daughter, your son, or whatever, you feel like disappointed you. Like I shared with you, my daughter was telling me, like, she hid the second pregnancy from me, the full pregnancy from me. I found out when we moved back that month. And as I shared, like, her words was, I didn't want to disappoint you. But how can you disappoint me? You just had a beautiful little baby girl, that's my boo-boo, That was the beauty in it. Yes, maybe that wasn't what you had planned and it happened, but the bottom line is that's the beauty. You got a whole life that you were able to bring into this world and teach and guide and take from your experience to make sure that she and both my grandbabies do better than you did, as I work hard to try to make sure that I teach from my experience. I teach my kids from my experiences to make sure that they don't make the same mistakes, and I give them a shortcut. Now it's up to them if they just want to not believe me. And it's been times that they didn't, and then they just had to come back. You was right. And that's what life is about. Life is about learning how to adjust, to change, to disappointments, and looking at the change, the disappointments, the mistakes that we make, not as that, but as a lesson to learn, as something that we need to grow from, something that we can become better at. That is what life is all about. So you can't, as I keep telling you, you can't hold people hostage, and you can't really, we say, okay, this person is dependable, this person is reliable, but really you can't hold people in that mode, because at any moment, those same reliable, dependable people can have something come up in their life, and then it might not work out. Whatever it is that you were depending on them for, relying on them for, they just might not be able to come through for you one at a time, or two at a time, or whatever. You know what I mean? So you can't hold people hostage. It's life, y'all. It's life. And once we come to that, once we realize that, this is how we'll be able to be more at peace with ourselves. Like this situation coming up, and my family in an uproar about this person doing this, and I don't even know what she posted. I don't even care. I really don't. Allow me to see just how much I've grown. That I don't really have to, listen, I don't care. I'm focused on what God put me here to do. This is my purpose. My purpose is to speak to people. And as a matter of fact, that's my name, Dion. That's what it means. It means love, peace, companionship. It means wanting to work with others to achieve peace and harmony. It means analyzing and understanding and learning. It means that I'm a philosopher, I'm a scholar, teacher. That's what the name Dion means. So I hold my name. I'm proud of my name. Even though my mom gave me that name, I gave my son Dion, and I spell it differently. But, I'm proud of that name. And I don't even think that she knows the meaning of the name. I think she just gave me the name because she likes it. But yeah, we all got middle names. Sometimes you need to look up what your name means to see if you're even moving in that direction. And when I read the meaning of my name, I was like, wow, that is so me. That is really who I am. And it's just amazing how I really believe that spirit picks your name. I really do. Because when I looked at, even with the way I spelled my son's name, Dion, the meaning of his name is similar to mine's, but it's a little bit different, and it's really powerful, Oh, excuse me. But yeah, you need to look up your name and see what it means, and see if you even living like that. Like, you can have a name that means peace and all that, and then you be this chaotic person or whatever. Maybe you need to start adjusting to what your name means. But then there are some parts of your name, like there's a couple definitions. I was like, I don't agree with that. But I just took the summary of it, and rolled with it. And that's why I wanted to embrace my middle name, And like I said, I just try to keep things separate, Anyway, I'm coming up, almost on 40 minutes, and I'm not going to make this one long, but I really hope that you are truly inspired and motivated from this podcast show. Oh yeah, I'll be forgetting to open up the chat. Then sometimes people chat, but I guess maybe that's why y'all don't chat, but please, y'all, start chat. Y'all can chat. I don't know. Like, I did look at the cell phone, and it do kind of seem a little like it's a little work to get through. But, I appreciate if you're listening on iHeartRadio, iTunes, or whatever, to rate the show, to, things of that nature. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your subscriptions. I appreciate all of that. Really, really, really do. Following me, whatever y'all, whatever it is to let me know. Email me, let me know if the show is helping you in any type of way. I really appreciate it. And if you want to be on a show, you think you got a good story that'll benefit the listeners, definitely I invite you. Email me at adionne-your-dream-pusher @gmail.com. Email me there. adionne-your-dream-pusher. You can't forget it. adionne-your-dream-pusher @gmail.com. Email me there if you want to be on a show. You got a good story to talk about, and y'all already know, if y'all been following me, y'all know the stuff I talk about. So please don't come on here and just trying to sell a product. That's not. Now, if you got a product to sell, but you got a story behind it, or, something beneficial, yeah, fine. I welcome it. But I'm just letting you know, this is not a sales platform just to talk about product. Like when I had Ira on, he was talking about product, but he was talking about the benefits of what he's creating that can help, cure diseases and stuff like that, so things of that nature, if you get my drift. But yeah, hey, I got some good stuff planned out for us, and I'm looking forward to the new year. I really am. I can't believe that it's December, you might as well say. It's just like, wow, how did we get here so fast? So I'm just going to leave y'all, with that. But just remember, if you don't get the job you want, you don't get the promotion, you don't get the house, you don't get the car, you don't get the man, you don't get the woman, don't look at it as a disappointment. Look at it as beauty, because obviously God has something better for you. He has something bigger, something greater for you in store, and you just gotta let go of whatever is not working out. Let it go, because only when you let things go is when you open yourself to receive better. I had to learn that. You got to let stuff go. I don't care how many years you've been working for something or whatever, even if it's a dream, it's a vision, it's a goal. Sometimes you got to let it go. If it's not working out for a while, just let it breathe for a minute, and then let it come back around. Just like this podcast show. I told y'all I was working on internet radio, trying to put together an internet radio show some years ago. A couple times I started to do this podcast show, did some recordings, but just never got to it. But nevertheless, here years later, here I am talking to you. So sometimes if stuff don't work out the way you want it to, you just need to let it breathe for a moment and wait. And then, because sometimes God is he's not ready for you to do that yet, because he's working some things out. He needs you to work some things out within you. Like with me, I was such a private person, and God had to break me down, get me to the point with all this ups and downs in my life, get me to the point that I just didn't give up what nobody thought. Like, this my damn life. Y'all don't like it, kick rocks. You know, God had to get me to that point. So now I'm able to embrace this podcast show and be transparent with you guys and not worry about people coming at my neck and saying whatever they want to say out their mouth about me, because I know who I am now. And that's what God had to work with me to get me to that point, to understand that I am a powerful being. I am a beautiful person. I walk in my integrity. You know what I mean? Like, I had to get to that point. So when I talk to y'all, I keep telling y'all I'm talking to myself too. I'm reminding myself too about who I am and my capabilities. So that's what I'm going to leave y'all with. I'm hitting my 40-minute mark. And I hope that y'all really got a lot out of this. And like I said, family, I love y'all. Y'all know how to push delete block. Other than that, y'all don't have to worry about nothing, because I'm not worried about anything. I'm just going to pray that karma don't come back on that person. That's what I'm going to pray, because it's some bad karma had came on a lot of folk that did some things to me, and I don't wish that on nobody. So yeah, I'm going to leave the show with that. Find the beauty in your disappointments. If you're facing a disappointment right now, today, as you're listening to me, I need you to sit down and really think about the beauty out of that. Even if you just broke up in a relationship, look at the beauty in it. You got a chance to get to know who you are all over again. You get the chance to love yourself, learn what loving yourself is, so that you'll attract the right type of love to you when the next person comes, you know? So until Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, this is Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself, saving you from drowning in some real bull-ish. I just want y'all to go out there, tackle the world, do the damn thing. I love you guys. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Chronicles of Living, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. And if you are pursuing your dreams, I'm proud of you, because the best part of life is when you decide to live. To keep up with us, please visit chronicles-of-livin-podcast. Until next time, this is Adionne, your dream pusher. I love you guys.